Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make a modification of the rainbow crochet halter top. I decided to call this the Peplum or the Ruffle rainbow crochet top, and it is more modest because it creates more coverage towards the lower part of the top, and this top can be perfectly matched with our Lemon Peel Crochet Skirt. If you want to wear it as a dress, you can even just put it over the Lemon Peel Crochet Skirt and it will appear to be a perfect dress, as you can see in this image. Let me know in the comment section if that's something that you would love to try out. So if you would like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops. I'll be leaving all the links in the description box below. So that will be for the original rainbow crochet top, this version that is modified, which is the Peplum Rainbow Crochet top, and then also the lemon peel stitch skirt that you can match up with this top in order to form a dress-like structure. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start off with a magic ring with our very first color, which is white. We're going to crisscross our yarn like this, and then insert our 3mm crochet hook. Grab this yarn, remove your fingers, and then make a chain of 1 to close off the magic ring. This doesn't count as anything. You're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as our very first double crochet, and then double crochet 11 more times into the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So in total, we should be having a total of 12 double crochets, including the chain 3 at the beginning of the round. Now we're going to pull on our magic ring just like this. Make sure you don't break it. Just pull on it like this, and this marks the end of round 1. Round 2, you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as our very first double crochet. Turn your work, double crochet into the same exact stitch. So that means the very first stitch has 2 stitches. Now we are going to go into each and every stitch with 2 double crochets until the end of the row. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the row, and on top of the chain 3, you're going to go in there with 2 double crochets. So at the end of this row, you should be having a total of 24 double crochets altogether. Just to cross check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 times 2, which is a total of 24 double crochets. This marks the end of row 2. Alright, so we're going on to row 3, and you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as our very first double crochet. Turn your work, and then 1 double crochet into the same exact stitch. So that means the very first stitch has 2 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and that's the repeat for this row. 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So repeat that all the way across the curve of your top. Alright, so we are coming to the end of the row, and we have 2 stitches left, and they will only get 1 double crochet in each stitch. Alright, so we've come to the end of row 3, and we are switching colors to our next color. Now you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So for me, my top, I decided to do 3 rows of each color. So pull through, and that marks the end of the very first color. Now we're going on to our next color. Alright, so for my next color, I'll use royal blue, and I'm going to create a slip knot and attach my yarn where I left off with my previous color. So into that very last stitch of white, I'm going to attach my yarn, and then I'm going to make a chain of 3, and then 1 double crochet into the same exact stitch. So we start off the row with an increase or raise. So from here, you're going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. All right, so you're going to repeat this all the way across until the end of the row. 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 2 double crochets into the next. So I've placed 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and then I'm going to create an increase into the second last stitch by placing 2 double crochets in that stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the very final stitch, and that marks the end of row 4. This is what you should have. All right, so for row 5, you're going to repeat row 4. The same exact instructions. Make a chain of 3 and turn your work. Place a double crochet into the very first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, and 4. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So you're going to do that all the way across, and I'll meet you back towards the end of row 5. All right, so we're coming to the end of row 5, and I've just finished my very last increase. I have a total of 3 stitches left, and they will receive 1 double crochet into each of the last 3 stitches. Make sure you go on top of the very last stitch with 1 double crochet on top of the chain 3, because it counts as a stitch, and place a double crochet there. So that marks the end of row 5. Row 6 is quite different. You're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. Turn your work into that very first stitch. You're going to place 1 double crochet. So we've started off with an increase. And then you're going to place 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. After that, you're going to create an increase by placing 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And then 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So you're going to repeat that all the way across, and I'll meet you back towards the end of the row. Alright, so I'm through with my very last increase. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches left, and those ones will get only 1 double crochet into each stitch. Alright, so since I had mentioned that I'll be doing 3 rows for each color, this marks the end of my blue color. I'm going to make a chain of 1 and cut my yarn, and then I'm going to go on to my next color, which is green. Alright, so for this version, I'll be using this neon green color. After the blue color, you're going to attach your yarn where you left off your previous color, just like we did when we were switching to the blue color. You're going to attach your yarn into the very last stitch of your previous color, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then double crochet into the same exact stitch, which creates an increase. Now this is row 7. For row 7, row 8, and row 9, we are repeating row 6. I'm going to demonstrate that again. So after your increase here, you're going to place 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, just like we did for our previous row. So after your 7 standalone double crochets, you're going to go into the next stitch with 2 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way across your row. So I have a total of 5 stitches left, 4 stitches actually. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and those ones will only get 1 double crochet into each. Alright, so that marks the end of row 7. Row 8 and row 9, we're going to repeat the same exact process for the previous row. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Make a chain of 3, turn my work, double crochet into the same exact stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. And then an increase into the next stitch by placing 2 double crochets. So I'm going to go all the way across the curve, and I'll show you how to wind up row 8. I'll let you know how many stitches I'll have left. Alright, so at the end of row 8, I have a total of 3 stitches left. and those ones will only receive 1 double crochet. Right after the increase, I have a total of 3 stitches, and I'm going to just place 1 double crochet into each of them. Now we're going on to row 9, which is the same exact instructions as the previous rows. Row 8, 7, and 6. You're going to make a chain of 3 and turn your work, and double crochet into the very first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. Make it all the way across the curve, and I'll meet you towards the end of row 9. Alright, so we've come towards the end of row 9, and we have a total of 3 stitches left. You'll only place 1 double crochet in each of them. We were left with 3 stitches after the increase, after our very last increase of row 9. So you just go into each of the last stitches with 1 double crochet, and this marks the end of the 3rd row of this color. You're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. Now it's time for us to introduce our next color. Alright, so for our next color, I'm using this mustard yellow, and I'm attaching where I left off with the previous color. And then I'm going to make a chain of 3 and double crochet into the same exact stitch. So we are starting off with an increase, and we're going to go into each of the next 10 stitches with 1 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So after this, you're going to go into your next stitch with an increase, which is 2 double crochets. 1 double crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. So that's the repeat for this row all the way across. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of row 10, and after my very last increase, I have a total of 10 stitches left, and I'll just go into each of them with 1 double crochet. Okay, so row 11, you're going to repeat the same exact process for row 10. So make a chain of 3, turn your work, 1 double crochet into the very first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so from now on, you just repeat the same exact process until you have the same number of stitches in between the increases at the end of the row or less. So once you do your last increase towards this side, and now you have either 10 stitches in between, or the number of stitches in between the increases, or even less, or something like 9 or 7 stitches or 5 stitches, you just go into each of them at the end of the row with 1 double crochet. I hope that makes sense. So after your 10 double crochets here, you're going to create an increase into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So you're going to repeat this and wind up this row, and then for row 12 you repeat the same exact process that we have done for row 11, and then I'll be back when we are switching to our next color. All right, so we've come to the end of row 12 and we have our last double crochet stitches. After our increase, we are left with only 3 stitches that receive 1 stitch into each stitch. So we are through with our row 12. You're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. And now we are going to go on to our next color, because we are done with the three rows of this color. So I'm going to introduce my pink color. All right, so for row 13, we're going to attach our yarn where we left off the previous color. Actually, row 13, 14, and 15. These are the instructions. You're going to make a chain of 3 and place a double crochet into the same exact stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 13 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and then place an increase into the next stitch. By placing 2 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 13 stitches. And then an increase into the next stitch. So go in there with 2 double crochets, and you're going to repeat that all the way across, and you're going to do that for row 14 and 15 as well, and then I'll meet you back for the next color when we are working our next color. All right guys, we are through with row 15, and it's the 3rd row of our pink color. Now you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. And then we are going on to our very final color, which is the red color. You're going to attach where you left off with your previous color. Just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, double crochet into the same exact stitch. So that means we've started with an increase, and then you're going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 and 16. So after your 16 standalone double crochets, you're going to go into the next stitch with an increase by placing 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. All right, so we are through with this 16 stitches after the increase, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and that's the repeat for this row. You're going to make it all the way around the curve. And then, just as we've been doing for the previous colors, we're going to repeat the same exact process for the next 2 rows until we have a total of 16 rows altogether. So we are doing 3 rows of red, and we are following this same exact pattern of 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 16 stitches, then an increase, then 16 stitches, then an increase, 16 stitches. So we are repeating that for a total of 3 rows, and I'll be back to show you what mine will look like. All right, so we are done with our 3 rows of the red color, and this is our final color. I'm going to make a chain of 1 and cut my yarn. And this is what your work should look like. All right, so for me, I ended on row 18, but for the bigger sizes, you're definitely going to go ahead and keep working. Remember, the increase that we have at this point was 16 stitches in between the increases. Now the next 3 rows, it will be a total of 19 stitches in between the increases, and then the next 3 rows will be a total of 22 stitches in between the increases. That's if you decide to go that far, if you're making a much bigger top than mine. But you're going to make sure that the base of your top measures approximately 3 inches less than your waistline circumference. So for me, the waistline circumference that I'm considering is around 25 inches, and you can see this can slightly stretch to 22 or 23 inches. So once you get to that point, you're going to stop working your top, and we're going to go ahead and create straps for it, as well as remove the loose ends from our top. All right, so before we go ahead to weave in our tails at the base of the top, we're going to fold our work into 2. Just fold it in half and locate the exact middle stitch. So mine is this one. I'll just mark it with a darning needle, and we're going to count a total of about 12 stitches from the exact middle stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And into the 13th, I'm going to attach my yarn. That's where I'm going to attach my very first strap. So I'm going to use the same exact color as the boundary color. So my boundary color is red. I'll use the same exact color. So attach your yarn, chain 1, single crochet into the same exact stitch, and make your chain. So I'm going to make a strap of about 150 chains. Alright, so instead of 150, I went ahead to do a total of 200 chains, and you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So we're going to do the same exact thing on this side. Count 12 stitches away from the stitch marker, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And into the 13th, you're going to attach your yarn and then make the same exact length of chain that you have on this side. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what to do for the base of the top. Alright guys, after attaching your straps, this is what you're going to have. And after this, we are going to go ahead and get rid of the loose ends at the bottom of the top. So what I want to do is just to tie a knot at every end. You'll be having 2 strands of 2 different colors. You just make a secure knot and then cut it off before we work on the final row at the base of the top. So just make a knot and cut off the loose ends, apart from the one in the middle. The one in the middle section will be alone, so just leave it behind. Shall deal with it later on. Alright, so for the middle part, you'll be having only one tail, and you're going to weave it in using a darning needle. So just turn your work onto the back side and weave in the tail. From here, you're also going to get rid of the one at the end. If you have a double strand like me, you're going to just make a knot, a double knot. But if you have a single strand, if you use the single strand for your final color, then you're going to use a darning needle to weave it in, to weave in the tail, and this is what you'll have in the end. So you're going to determine what color you want at the base of your top, and for me that is white, the color that we start with at the beginning of the project. Or you can use red. Actually, I think I'm going to use red because it's also at the boundary here, but you can choose any color of your choice to go at the base of the semi-rainbow. So we're going to get our red color and turn our work. So for the red, I am using a double strand, just like on this row, the final color on the edge, and I'm going to attach my yarn into the very edge row. Make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then you're going to go into each and every row with 2 double crochets. So since this counts as a double crochet, you're going to place 1 more into the same row, and then you're going to go all the way across, placing 2 double crochets in each and every row. And make sure this row is worked on the right side of your work, not on the wrong side. This is the edging row and it's the very final row. So continue to place 2 double crochets in each and every row across. Alright, so when you get to the middle section here, into the very first row, which is this one, the one that creates the very first semicircle, you're going to place 3 double crochets on either side of the exact middle of the panel. So we've placed 3 here, and you're going to cross over to this side and also place 3 double crochets. Like that, and then you're going to go back to 2 double crochets in each and every row until the end of the panel. Alright, so we made it all the way across, and after your last stitch you're going to just make a slip stitch or a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So we are going to get rid of the loose ends. On both ends. So to transform this halter top into the peplum version, so you're going to take a measurement at the base of your top. And for me, I have a total of about 22 inches. And you're going to take your waistline circumference and subtract this measurement here. So for me, that is 26 minus 22. I have a total of 4 inches. So the difference between the length of the base of the top and your waistline circumference is the chain that you're going to make at the back of your top. So you're going to attach your yarn. I'm going to switch to my 4mm crochet hook because I want my stitches to be a little bit loose compared to what I had for the body of the top. So you're going to attach your yarn and make a chain that is that length, the difference between your waistline circumference and the length at the base of the top. For me, that is 4 inches. So all right, so let's take a measurement here. I want to make sure I have a total of 4 inches. So I've done a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 chains in order to get that difference. In order to get the required number of chains to make my 4 inches. And now I'm going to slip stitch on the opposite end. Now we're going to start working in rounds, guys. As you can see here, we're now going to start working in rounds. So you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. And then into the next stitch, you're going to place 2 double crochets. Then 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next. So you're going to repeat that all the way around. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and 2 double crochets into the next. So repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. All right, so when you make it to the chain, we're still going to do the same exact pattern. 1 double crochet in one chain and 2 double crochets in the next chain. 1 double crochet into the next, and then 2 double crochets into the next. So repeat that until the chain is finished. All right, so we've come to the end of the chain and I'm placing a double crochet there. It doesn't matter whether you end with an increase or a plain stitch. From here, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the very first chain 3 because it counts as a stitch. Now we're going on to round 2. Round 2, you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next. 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So the pattern for this round is 1 1 2 1 1 2, 1 in the next, 1 in the next, and then 2 in the next, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. So 1 1 2, that's the pattern for round 2, and I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. All right, so we've come to the end of round 2. You're going to end your row with either an increase or a double crochet into the very last stitch. It doesn't matter. So after that, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the first chain 3 of the round, and then we're going on to our next round, and that is round 3. You make a chain of 3, and then 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next. So for this round, the repeat is 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and then an increase by placing 2 double crochets into the next stitch. That's a repeat for this round. 1 1 1 and 2. Repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you back towards the end of my round 3. This is what you'll have. You'll start noticing that your work is no longer straight. It's creating this kind of ruffle-like look, and that's exactly what we want. So finish up round 3, and I'll meet you at the end of round 3. All right, guys, we've come to the end of round 3, and you're going to slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3. Round 4, you're going to make a chain of 3 and double crochet once in each of the next 4 stitches. 1 2 3 and 4. Actually, in each of the next 3 stitches, so that we have a total of 1 2 3 and 4, and into the next stitch you're going to increase by placing 2 double crochets, and then into the next 4 stitches you're going to place 1 double crochet into each, and then place an increase into the next stitch by placing 2 double crochets. So the repeat for this round is 1 1 1 1 2. So we keep increasing the number of stitches in between the increases. For example, the very first round had only 1 stitch, the next round had 2 stitches in between the increases, the next round had 3 stitches in between the increases. Now round 4 has a total of 4 stitches in between the increases, and for round 5 you will have a total of 5 stitches in between the increases. So just go ahead and do a total of 5 rounds, and at round 5 you'll have a total of 5 stitches in between the increases, and I'll meet you back at that point when we have increased to a total of 5 stitches in between the increases. 1 2 3 and 4, and then an increase by placing 2 double crochets into the next stitch. All right, so go all the way around doing that, and I'll meet you back at the end of my round 5. All right, guys, we are through with round 5. As you can see, we have 1 2 3 4 and 5 rounds, And I'm going to slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3 of round 5. Make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. At this point, if you want your top to be even longer, you now know how to increase. For the next round, if you decide to make it longer, you'll have a total of 6 stitches in between the increases. But for me, this length was just enough because this is the length that I prefer to have. So you're going to use either a darning needle, or if you're using a double strand, you can just tie a knot at the end of the row, and this is what you will have. If I am to take a measurement for the extension of the top, we have a total of approximately 3 more inches downwards, and this creates a very modest coverage for our top as compared to what we had for the original rainbow crochet top. And now when it comes to the back side, I'll be showing you how it looks like at the back. Remember how we laced up the back of the rainbow top? We counted a total of 25 to 30 stitches from the base here all the way up, and then we did the same exact thing from the base of the rainbow top, not from the base of this all the way up, and we counted a total of about 25 stitches and then laced up this part. And then you can just leave it at that and then just tie a knot at this point. I'll be giving you both options in the images at the end of the video, but you can also go ahead and just find the middle section between the lace up here and the base of the rainbow top and crisscross your straps just like this. And then you're going to go to the base of the top and then you lace it up as well. The base of the rainbow top, the original rainbow top, before you go into these what are they called, the ruffles. And then you're going to identify the middle section of this extension. Just fold it into half and just eyeball the middle section. For me, it's at this point. Now I'm going to get my darning needle. I think I'll use the bigger one. So use your darning needle and thread it into your strap. And then you're going to go in and out of every 2 stitches. In and out of every 2 stitches. Until you get towards the stitch marker that you just placed. Just like that. And then you're going to do the same exact thing on this side. You get this strap and then thread it into the darning needle. And then you start weaving it into in and out of every 2 stitches until towards the stitch marker that you just placed in the middle of the extension. So this is going to ensure a tight and well-fitted top around the waist. And at this point you can remove the stitch marker and tie a knot at the back of the top. And that marks the end of our modified rainbow crochet top, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Did you like this version or the original version, and will you try it out? And don't forget to check out the written pattern on all my online shops. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to share some more creations and some more modifications of this particular design. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.